Hey everyone. So I had kind of taken the weekend off for doing videos. Um, so that's why I didn't see videos for a couple days. And here we are with Elder Scrolls Online. My wife recently purchased a new laptop and basically wants to play a MMO. Warcraft came up, and I looked at it and it's a subscription fee for that BattleNet and all that. Plus, the game is large compared to this one, I think. But then I don't know all the updates for Warcraft there because, well, I didn't go ahead and download that. I downloaded this one. So I looked at Elder Scrolls after I looked at Warcraft to see at Elder Scrolls, you don't need to pay a subscription unless you want like perks for various things. So I decided to get Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online, I have not played for a long time. The initial outset of the game sucked, as most of people know that. Like the graphics were terrible, it didn't work, so on and so on. But over the years, I think it's been around for 10 plus years, they have improved graphically. They've improved the controls, and they're going to be talking about kind of my quick review on the little gameplay I have done of recent time. And there are two videos in the ESO video playlist right now. Um, with one is Khajiit, just call the title Catfolk, and the other is Orc, which I'm kind of like going between Mage and Warrior. See how that goes. Um, so a couple of negatives off the draw here. The installation of this game is insane. You gotta I think it's 100 gigs plus for the main game and the expansion, which I get. There's a lot there. But then 100 gigs of updates for that. On top of that, bringing the whole thing to like 200 plus gigabytes in size just to play the damn game. And not only that, okay, went through um, the Elder Scrolls Online login, not connected with Bethesda's login. That was having trouble recognizing my password because I had logged in long ago because I had this game on my Xbox, but it wasn't understanding my password. So I had to basically create a brand new account, go through all that crap, uh, and set all that up. Okay. Um, I tried with a different email service that didn't work because the messages weren't coming up for activation. Then I had to go and use a Gmail account. So I'm using a different Gmail account just to play this damn game. After going through all that and 200 gigs, including the main game expansions and updates, finally got to play the game. So that pissed me off. That took like a while to do. And because it's like basically 200 gigs, you got a download of the game, the expansions, and the updates. It takes like half a day to do. So it's annoying to say the least. Okay. This is like why I absolutely hate subscriptions. Not that you pay for this one, but like these kind of games where you have to sign into another service just to play the fucking game, it really is irritating. You can't just get on there and play the damn game and that's it. It has to go through all these hoops. Anyway, let's talk about the game itself. Um, Aside from that negativity, I have to say that Elder Scrolls Online is very good. It's faster movement than a Skyrim or Oblivion in terms of moving your character. It feels like a lot quicker. It feels a lot quicker in getting your attacks and so on off. Um, because this is not technically not a single player game, but what's cool is that I'm going to be showing you updates. So they're kind of like adding in solo player stuff. Not saying that it's a solo player game, but you can play this game as a single player. All right. Um, so let's bring this in here. So this is the roadmap, and I'm just gonna shrink myself um, for 2026 there because why I had interest in Elder Scrolls Online over Warcraft there is because I was actually researching this. There's kind of actually see if they had been doing updates, and sure enough, they're going to be updates this year. Ironically, what's cool is that they added in these expansions to the base game, and I believe that these two here are the base game. I'm not sure what. Sorry. Um, this one here, Greymore, and then you have all these in the base game, which is cool. I mean, I already had Elder Scrolls Online, so I just installed it. But when my wife gets on and she wants to join in kind of a group and we'll play together, she's got to go through all that setup bullshit I went through, which is going to be fun. And I have to set it all up because, I know what I'm doing. Anyway, so a lot of this is going to be interesting for you PvP fans. And I use strictly play Elder Scrolls Online for PvP, which is cool. That's what it's for. That's what it was meant for, right? So, um, I as a single player don't really notice like they've changed the structure to what I understand as being seasons. I honestly am out of it because I don't didn't play this game initially for PvP. But here is all the stuff that they're coming out with here. This is a PvP progression system. All this is like new stuff that they're adding in, which is cool. Um, so here is really neat solo dungeons all the way. I guess like in at the end of this year. So that's going to be interesting how they do that. I am interested to see like they have. I think they have like solo like tombs and stuff that you can do. I'm not 100% sure on that. I can be confusing that with Warcraft, but they are. Looks like they're kind of like are putting in a little bit more like single player stuff. Whether that says anything about the game, I don't know. I doubt it's going to go full single player because again, Elder Scrolls Online was meant to be a player versus player MMO, not a single player game. But having said that, um, the game now from then when I played it is I still like the fact that like depending on what faction and race you begin with, you start in a different area of the map. Multiple maps, I assume, because I haven't really explored all the expansions there because all the expansions are kind of new for me. So, but I've kind of looked up on videos online and kind of seeing like what's kind of been added and stuff. So they're all multiple maps as far as I know. What's really interesting is they have like a main. sort of story for the area that you can follow, but they also have zones where there are quests in these zone areas and stuff like that, which is interesting. I think I'm saying that right. The controls, as I was talking about initially, like the character moves faster, attacks are faster, spell casting is faster. Like, I really like that they've added in these kind of abilities. That's brand new to me for Elder Scrolls, where you have these unlocked abilities for your character, and you can assign them to keybinds on your controller, obviously your keyboard if you're doing like mouse and stuff. I've always been a controller guy, so key binding the controller is a little bit of a thing there because like there's so many different things to do what, so you kind of have to use your keyboard for certain things, but all in all it's not too bad because I put in all the buttons that I mainly use, like attack, interact, all that kind of stuff. But as I said, I like the ability tree sort of deal they have there where you have like one ability and then it kind of has its own like tab opens up and then there's different things for that. It's really neat kind of deal there. I'm not sure if they had that at the very beginning of ESO. Not sure. I can't remember. I don't remember that being. Um, as far as I know, there's vampires and werewolves in the game. I think they have mentioned that briefly went over like the ZeniMax video where they were talking about like upcoming, patches and stuff, and they mentioned that the werewolf they're going to rework or something. They're also going to, I think they said March or April, they're reworking some of the classes and stuff, like movements and stuff. So that's going to be an interesting, again, another download and see how big that is. If I can even like, I'm gonna have to like put ESO onto a external hard drive because I need my space on my laptop for stuff that isn't a game. So I have to do that at some point, which is fine. But I like running games off of the main laptop hard drive just for the processing. It's better for, I don't know. It's just a tech thing for me. But the graphics are very improved as well from the last time I played. Like they're a lot more colorful, grass, trees, surroundings, caves. As you saw with the last video with my first Orc Part One run through, like I reached the Wimmer ruins, so it's cool to see that that's still in the game. Um, it's cool that I go into a cave, it's a cave. I go into a ruin, it's a ruin, and there's different kind of places that you can go and discover, which is cool. that one scene there, I accidentally was in town and I shot one of the citizens with my kind of spear bolt ability. I didn't mean to. I just like hit it. And then my bounty went up, you saw. And I was like, oh shit, but I paid it off. Luckily, it was like only 21 gold. I didn't kill the citizen, luckily, or probably bounty would be more, but it's cool to see that crime is still, if you like want to be a butthole and go in and doing bad things. I mean, it's cool to see that the notoriety system is some form of that there. Um, I do like the how they have when you're talking to an NPC, they have the NPC kind of out more a little bit with the dialogue kind of over to the right there, and then you have your choices on what you want to say or ask. I like the kind of camera angle of that, as opposed to like old Elder Scrolls games where it's like almost kind of right in their face, and the facial animations were weird back then. They're pretty good in ESO now. Like Their lips match what they're saying. I really like the voices. I recognize some of the Skyrim voices here and there that they've added in. But yeah, after all these years, I think Elder Scrolls Online it plays good. It's a pain in the ass initially to set up and get going, but once you're in it, there's kind of lots to explore. Like, I can't really say anything about the expansions because I obviously haven't gotten that far. Um, but it's cool. I think there are like two new classes since the last bloody time I played this game that they've added. What was it? Um, I think the Templar is one of them, and the Dawn Dragon one, I think. But Imperial's still locked off, and you have to still buy that for a microtransaction. That's kind of dirty. Microtransactions are always going to be notorious in games, but it is nice that you're not forced to pay the subscription like originally when ESO first came out to play this game. So that is why I went to Elder Scrolls. While Warcraft is neat looking and all, I think I don't know. I like the graphics of Elder Scrolls a little more personal taste. For more of a, I wouldn't say realistic, but more not so cartoony as Warcraft though. Although Warcraft has awesome lore and be interesting to kind of explore that. A friend of mine, he always filled me in on all of the stories and characters from the Warcraft lore and stuff because he knew that game inside and out at the time. But I really like how also the quests here they're not just like they don't feel like oh go here get this bring it back. I like how they so far anyway that they have like multiple elements you have to do. Like you saw me there where I had to like um, kind of rescue the sailors and heal them with like these items that I picked up. Simple as that. Um, so far, I don't believe no, I haven't faced like a boss yet, but I suspect that will be coming. In the Khajiit Catfolk video, I obviously went through the tutorial and there was that boss there. The tutorial's fine. It's interesting on setting off the main story for that. But what I said before is I like how like depending on the faction or class you choose, you start off in a different part of the map with the different kind of quests to do and stuff, which I'm sure that with other characters you eventually do get that or something, but I'm interested to see if, like, depending on the kind of faction you choose, um, some quests will be for that faction and some will be for that faction, and whether that'll come into play with, like, other factions. Like, can you access, say, this what my orc's doing as opposed to what my Khajiit character is doing. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out through the playthrough. So when my wife does get on and when we set up all that, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I've never played with significant other before on a video game, so it's going to be very interesting. Not saying for bad, not saying for worse. It's just I think it's going to be fun. But as she was watching me play my Khajiit character, she was like, "Oh, you got to do this," and then pointing this out and everything. I'm like I haven't played Elder Scrolls stuff or Elder Scrolls games before, and she's like already trying to tell me what to do. I'm like, "This is how the game is. What a you know lives." Yeah. But that aside, I think it will be fun. You know, it's and these updates there are going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the ESO and how far it has come since its beginnings. It certainly has like fixed a lot of stuff. Graphically, looks a lot better. Controls are more smoother. And you have like options. So yeah, I'm really interested in kind of like going with the Dark Brotherhood quest when that comes up. That one I really want to see. I think one of the expansions has like a Thieves Guild thing. I'm really interested to see like the expansion stories. So the main story is pretty much doesn't seem to have changed. Where Moloch Ball is basically coming, and you got to stop him from doing his bad stuff. I mean that storyline hasn't really changed, but I'm more interested in like the side factions and everything rather than the main story. But eventually, the main story I would like to finish. Um, yeah, I should also talk about kind of like how the leveling system works before I go. I think it's simple enough where you like have the points, you put them in stamina, magicka, and health. Um, and the gear system is really simplified where you pick up gear and you have rare stuff and you kind of slot it in and like you know um so obviously like you get more gear and better gear as you go. Usually in like Elder Scrolls I always kind of keep with the same gear, but I'm sure that like as I get better gear I'll probably swap over to the better gear because you're going up against like higher level things and enemies. So you kind of have to do that to avoid death. Right now, I'm not sure if they have like healing potions or whatever. I mean, that's kind of why, it's cool with my orc. I have a healing skill and I could pop that if I need to. Because there probably will be times where I get mauled. You saw there a couple times where I was getting like taking on 3, 4, 5 dudes. And yeah, that can be hairy, especially if we get like kind of cornered or whatnot. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on ESO in 2026. I mean, we're at the beginning of 2026, and yeah, it is a pain in the ass to set up, I will say, but once you get in the game, I think it's cool. I'm not a huge MMO guy, um, but I play it. I wouldn't have even played this or tried getting back into this game without my wife wanting to play together. So that's, I guess, a, a positive, blessing in disguise, I suppose. All right, let me know in the comments, kind of uh, what your favorite class is and how long you've been playing ESO. That'd be cool to know. And kind of like what you think of these new changes coming in. I'd like to hear your comments and your thoughts on that. So give a good like, and it's awesome having over 1,000 subscribers, man. I never thought I'd get that far. It's awesome, but keep them coming, and hope you enjoy the video still. And ending this video with saying I'm finally monetized after a long while. Took a long while to get there, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Still, I'm just making the same videos as I always have and see where it goes. All right, see ya.